Welcome to Montessori Education.
Montessori English Medium School. Admissionlu jaruguchunnami. Montessori English Medium School. Burripalam Road, Tenali. Phone 08644 227 115.
Welcome to 10th class English 5th video. Today we are going to continue with be reading, and in this unit, as the title says, personality development, we have already seen attitude is altitude. A famous person, Nick Vujicic, usually people say Nick Vujicic or something, actually it is to be pronounced Nick Vujicic. He was born suffering from porphyria, and he was born a torso. I hope you understand what is torso. Torso is just like a trunk of a body. On the top there is a head. And this man was born, when he was born of course, his father was not happy to accept him, his mother was not able to carry him, and she vomited, father ran out of the hospital, all these things you might have already heard. This man, despite all these difficulties, how he came up in life, that is what we have seen in this chapter, in this lesson, year reading, attitude is altitude. And this word attitude, let me write it on the board. This word has a speciality. Maybe one of the strangest words in English. If you calculate the total value of these letters, you find something strange. For example, if you assign A as one value, T 20, for the next T again 20, this letter I, we have a value 9, T again 20, U, 21, D 4, and E 5. The total, if you count 20 plus 121, 41, 9, 50, 70, 91, 95, and it comes to 100 as you know. So to have 100% development in life, we need to, first of all, we need to change attitude. In the season of COVID, we have come across people getting frightened of COVID. But the government well-known statement says that no need to get frightened of. We need to change our attitude towards this COVID, right? In the same way, let us change by learning this lesson. Let us change our attitude to make ourselves better. And by changing the attitude, Mr. Nick Vujicic, as I already told you, Nick Vujicic. Pronounce with me, Nick or Vujicic. And Nick Vujicic, how he changed. And if you go to different channels, you'll find Nick Vujicic and his beautiful wife and kids, though he was born a torso, he was blessed with 4 children who are really cute, and his wife is really beautiful. So people, those who have got some sort of feelings that I'm black and short and fat and all these things, please understand, change your attitude, you are going to rock the show and you reach the altitude. Today in B reading, we are going to deal. Of course, this lesson, this A reading is a newspaper article. There is no separate order for this. But today's reading, every success story. Okay, this you noticed? 100% attitude, right? Very good. Today we go to the next lesson, next reading. Every success story is also a story of great failure. And many people pronounce this word failure. Please understand, this is failures. Every success story is also a story of a great failure. In this lesson, be reading, we understand how great personalities in the world around, the globe around, how they came up in life. We have so many people, but before that, let us go to the author himself, Mr. Shiv Khera. Not Shiva Khera, it is Shiv Khera. And how he himself, though he is prominent now with his different books like You Can Win. I think if you have not read it, it's a must read. You Can Win. And if you read that book, I assure you, you win. And this man, an Indian born writer, he worked in different areas. Even in coal mines because they were owners of coal mines, but when government seized all the mines, they lost all the property, and he even had to work as a car washer. You know, washing car? Now I think we have some 300 or 400 rupees for the service, right? They wash the car and give you back. This man worked as a car washer, yet he became a famous writer, and one of his famous writings is what do you call it? You Can Win. And it's a must read, as I told you. Please keep it in mind. Try to read this book, You Can Win. And today we go to be reading. Every success story is also a story of great failure. Here we start with a great personality. Despite many failures in his life, failures, as I told you, is not failure, failures, many failures in life, how he became a very predominant, a very energetic, though he was old by the time he got into the places, he became very predominant person in the world, and he is none other than Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of America. So please open the textbook, and as I go through, please listen and read through or listen to the lines so that you will also get accustomed to listening, because language is supposed to develop 4 areas: reading, writing, speaking and listening. And you know, many of us, many children nowadays, they don't develop this last skill, as I told you, listening skill. Like O. Henry says, many people lost their ability because they have not used their faculty. So when you don't use your faculty of listening, later you will never know what is listening at all. Nowadays we don't listen to parents, right? When they ask you to sit on TV, what do? You just continue watching. They ask you to keep your cell phone away and get into studies, we continue because we don't have listening skills, or we have not developed it. And in the schools, we are supposed to learn from the first skill, that is to be the last one, that is listening. So we start from listening. So you listen along with me, go through line by line so that you understand each word how it is to be pronounced. And every success story is also story of great failure. Failure is the highway to success. Tom Watson Sr. said, if you want to succeed, double your failure rate. Tom Watson Sr. says, if you want to succeed, what you should do? Double your failure rate. What does it mean? People say that every failure is a stepping stone to success, right? But here this great man, Watson, says that you need to double your failure rate. It means what? It is not enough that you fail once. You come on, fail man, fail again and again and again till you are fed up with the failing, so that you will succeed. In this lesson, be reading, we come across people who failed many a times, but at the end, what was waiting for them? As the story says, success was waiting for them. So here, failure is a highway, not a subway, not a lane. It's a highway to success. So if you want to succeed, what you must do? You have to double, not single. You have to double your failure rate so that you succeed. That is what he says. If you study history, you will find that all stories of success are stories of great failures. Every failure, every story in the history, if you take, you know the great king who ran away and hid himself in a cave, and he was all alone, and he saw a spider jumping from one side of the cave to the other side. And how many times the spider jumped? You know the story well, I think it's a well-known story. The story says the spider jumped 8 times to make a thread across the cave. And 8th time, the spider was able to catch hold of the other side of the cave and made a web there. Seeing this, the king was motivated, again gathered his people and formed his army and went and fought bravely and defeated the enemy. The story is again to tell you that we need to fail, and from failure we need to step to success. And here the author says, and here the speaker Tom Watson says, you have to double your failure rate. And if you, in the history also we come across so many failures. But all these failures, they made them successful in their life. But people don't see the failures. They only see one side of the picture and they say that person got lucky. He must have been at the right place at the right time. That's what they say. When someone succeeds, what they say? Oh, that was just luck, you know. He was there at the right time. At his right time, he was there and he got lucky and he got passed or he got succeeded. That's what people say. They fail to understand the other side of the story. That is, this man succeeded only after n number of failures. That is what people fail to understand. And let us understand that point. Which point? That success comes after many failures. I'm not talking about scoring some 25 marks out of 50 in mathematics or English or some other subjects in class and become first in the class. That is not the success. What is success after all? We need to think about that. Let me share someone's life history with you. This was a man who failed in business at the age of 21. At the age of 21, he failed in business. He was defeated in the legislative race at the age of 22. 21 he failed business. Again, legislative election in the race. Race here it means the election. He failed again at the age of 22. Failed again in business. This man 21 he failed. 22 again stood in the election. Failed there. He did not lose. Again he came and continued his business and lost there at the age of 24. 21, 22, 24. Overcame the death of his sweetheart. Who is sweetheart? His better half, his wife. He lost his wife at the age of 26. That also was a sort of a nervous breakdown at the age of 27. Lost a congressional race. Again he stood for the election and lost again. That is at the age of 34. Lost a senatorial race. Again, you know, Senate in American ruling party, Senate, and the person who stands for that is senator, and he stood for the election, a senatorial race, and that also he lost. That was at the age of 45. And he failed in an effort to become vice president. He stood for the election again for the vice president. See that man, funny fellow we call him, unfortunate guy, 21, 22, 24, 26, I don't know, all his lifetime, more than 7, 8 times he failed, and that fellow wanted to become the vice president. What happens to this failed man? Utter flop. There also he failed at the age of 47. In India, his half life is almost over. 47 is almost going to join the majority, going to hit the bucket. It is going to die at the age of 47, because by the age of 40, 45, 47 and all, we are almost bending towards the earth or towards our grave. And this man lost a senatorial race again. See, we call it in Telugu, I don't know what you call. It's a sort of, over enthusiasm. Failed senatorial, failed congressional race, or failed vice president's election. Again, he stood for the election of senatorial election at the age of 49. And you know what happened? This man, at the age of 52, he became the 16th president who changed the history of America, Mr. Abraham Lincoln. And the specialty of this word, L-I-N-C-O-L-N. Here, this word is silent. Don't read it Lincoln, it is Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln. And what do you understand from this man? Was he a failure? Was he a disaster? A total disaster? We would in India, we would call after once attempting for IIT or NEET or so-called competitive exams. If you fail, your parents would start cursing you. You unfit fellow, a useless fellow. But we understand, useless Abraham Lincoln failed more than 7-8 times in not ordinary exams and all. Senatorial race, congregational race, legislative elections, and business, and even he's lost his sweetheart. Such a man, what do you call him? Disaster, right? History calls him a great success. You wouldn't say he was a success sometimes, but when you understand, you definitely call him a success, because he would have quit. Once or twice when he failed, he could have quit from this elections or business. But to Lincoln, defeat was a detour. detour. What is detour means? A road which is taking towards a different direction. For example, when you travel on highway, you will find men at work take a diversion. So here, when you take the diversion here, you are just deviating yourself from the highway only some distance. Again, you are going to join the highway here. So what is deter for him? All these failures only were deter for him. So naturally he was able to succeed. He became the 16th president. He was the man who put a full stop to the racism in America. Had he not been there, we would have seen shooting and murdering of people like yesterday and other days. So many people are shot dead in America, right? It would have been happening. And you know the slavery system in America, you could buy human beings, men and women of any age from the market. Without any dress, you can go there as you buy a buffalo, you buy a goat, buy chicken, you could buy, looking at the total figure of a person there, only thing you must have a chain to chain them and take them home. They were also equally human beings, and that was realized by this white man. He fought against all this racism. Though he was a white man, he stood for the black people and he became a great success because it's a plan of God. Every child comes into the world, and Rabindranath Tagore says that God still loves the world. So every child, you and I were born with a plan of God, but never get stopped at the failures. Please see that you proceed for your success. So today, as we wind up this 5th video, let me once again recapitulate your attention to this title. Every success story is also a story of great failure, written by Shivakera. Shivakera was born a rich man, but later many difficulties, tribulations and trials and all that he underwent, and he became a great man, writing wonderful books. You can win. What's the name of the book? You Can Win. And in this reading, we have seen a first person, despite a lot of failure, how he came up in life, became the 16th president of America. That is none other than Abraham Lincoln. To continue with the assignment, let us take the word detour. I think I told you the meaning detour, right? Okay, you understand this diagram here? On a highway, a small route which takes you to the other side, or not the far end. So using this word detour, please try to write 5 sentences of your own. Detour means a route that is used when the usual one is closed. So I told you, usual one is closed, so we take a diversion here and join the main, right? Detour. This is not only about a road, it can be in any situation, right? For example, the teacher was trying to explain maths sum, the students did not understand, so he took a detour and gave you another example to drive the point home. So using this word detour, try to write 5 sentences of your own and send to my personal WhatsApp so that I understand that you understand. Next assignment is, it's a question. You read the lesson, be reading, and tell me a few qualities that made Abraham Lincoln's failure a great success. Do you understand the question? Read the total part of Abraham Lincoln's episode from this be reading and mention a few qualities that made Abraham Lincoln's failure a great success. Got it? Not this point? Thank you.